All right, I don't know if we have him on.
We do.
But, okay, this man, he hosts, what's the show at The Blaze, actually?
Slightly Offensive.
Slightly Offensive, and he's a reporter for The Blaze. He's been on this show many times. And before we go to him, I want to show a clip. You know him, you love him, Elijah Schaffer. You can follow him on Twitter. You can follow his reporting. He has balls of steel. And on Tuesday, he was attacked while in Philly reporting at a, not to laugh, yeah, I know he's on the line, at a Five Below. That part's kind of funny.
Hey, yo, bro, stop recording. Stop recording, bro.
Right there, that's Elijah with the bandana.
I just went into the Five Below to just see what was going on with some of the looting, and I was jumped by the Black Lives Matter protesters who immediately started punching and kicking me. One of them punched me directly right in the lip. I had to go to the hospital, I think, to get stitches in this lip because it's just absolutely painful. But this is what's happening in the current state over the killing of Walter Wallace Jr. the other night.
All right, and I believe we have him with us now. I will do my best to not put him in danger or potentially get killed like last time. Elijah Schaffer, how are you, sir? The lip looks like it's, you know, your face doesn't look like the "Hey, you guys" anymore.
No, I'm not "Hey, you guys." I've downgraded to the Kylie Jenner lip-sucking movement, you know?
Yeah.
Kardashian look.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? Some would say it's an improvement. Just looks like you got fillings. What happened? What led up to your attack? Because you've been covering this for a while, and also, ignorant white guy here. I thought Five Below was a store like North Face kind of thing. Is it not?
No. It's like a dollar store.
Oh, it's like a dollar store.
$5
or below. Oh, okay, well that makes more sense. Okay, go ahead.
It's a hood North Face. I'll just say that. It's good. I mean, apparently it was top dollar. It's actually right behind me. I'm here in front of a Walmart. I don't know if you can see this right here. I mean, they have had to barricade the front of buildings. Every shopping center in Philadelphia is so on edge that they had to set police guarding the entrances, shut down the entrances using cinder blocks and plastic barriers, stones, anything they can find. People were just blocking their doors, desperate to try to keep the mostly peaceful group of Black Lives Matter protesters and looters from completely destroying their city.
Well, you know what? I want to say one thing here. This is a little bit different. Would you agree because you've been on the ground, I believe, I know Kenosha, Minneapolis. I don't know if I think you were in Portland. Yeah, as well. You were with Chaz. Not with Chaz. You were in Chaz. Is it Chaz or Chop? Raz was the rapper. Chaz. That's
Chaz to Chop.
That's right. You survived
I got my
Chop.
T-shirt.
Now, in those cases, there were incidentally some, sort of, I guess, accidentally, some peaceful protesters who showed up. But in this case, it doesn't even seem like people can say mostly peaceful. This started as riots, and it's only continued as riots. Is that an accurate assessment?
Okay, well, this is what's actually even crazier, is there were riots and protests not just in this area. This stretched in several areas across the city. So basically what we had a really progressive, self-segregated protest where Antifa went and protested in a different part of the city, and the anti-police, angry black mobs went to another part of the city. So it's like the white and the blacks just went and they were like, okay, let's use our own homemade tactics.
Right.
The Antifa breaks the windows. They throw fire Molotov cocktails. They're attacking police. And then the Black Lives Matter looters and rioters were just like, I'm going to steal me some off-brand toilet paper. Because that's really what that's what they were doing. They were literally stealing toilet paper. And I was going, I'm not mocking the poor because it's not funny. But
well, you don't steal toilet paper because you're poor. Yeah, they're not stealing toilet paper because they're poor. They're stealing toilet paper because there's rioting and looting. But here's my question is, was there, in other cities, you would have some people like CNN, they would be marching saying, no justice, no peace, as they'd walk past the bombed out buildings, right, in cars that are on fire. I haven't seen anything like that in Philly. I haven't seen any peaceful vigils. It seems like it breaks out right away. This has started as violent riots and looting. Have there been any incidents out there? Have there been large-scale protests where people are saying, hey, no one be violent. We're just here to protest with picket signs? Because I haven't seen it.
Well, yeah, these were the no Doritos, no peace protests. They were stealing snacks. And I was going, you're gonna risk your life for a bag of Doritos? They stole boxes of Chick-fil-A sauce, which is actually I respect that. if I was going to loot,
that's
I would
valuable.
go for the sauce too.
Set your sights higher.
And the people working at Chick-fil-A begged for forgiveness for their white privilege as requested by their CEO. Like, would you also like Asian zing, please?
It's reopened behind me. It's like they looted the whole store. Chick-fil-A is such a resilient company that they got their restaurant destroyed, and 2 days later they're back serving previously the Lord's chicken. But I was gonna say, I know God must anoint that place, because I don't know how this Walmart's not opening up for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now let me ask you this: we know the police were not ordered to arrest the rioters or looters. So what happened after you got assaulted? Did you call the cops? Did you notify the authorities? What transpired?
Okay, so this is really important for your viewers, because I want to let you know that in these places, I cannot verify that these police were told to stand down, but I can verify that the individual leading the Portland Police Bureau in 2019 now is directing the Philadelphia Police Department. So you know that Portland has a long track record of successful policing with criminals and riots.
Yes.
Yeah. So. So the police just let this happen. They retreated. They actually, at one point, this Walmart went through, like, I think several rounds, from what I noticed, of looting. Like, police would come, clear the building, and then just leave. And I'm like, well, the doors are broken open, and there's
They weren't standing guard to make sure it didn't happen again.
Nope. They just would, like, clear and be like, get out of here. I mean, I even watched a guy with a grocery cart full of electronics and just like whatever they could find at any of these places, from Ross, a couple dresses maybe, and he just like pushes his cart in front of an officer, and the officer like looks at him, like just lets him move past him. It doesn't even arrest the guy who's looting.
Well, that's what we've been told. I've been told it's just stuff. Well, actually, it's just the livelihood of somebody.
Yeah.
And by the way, who's to say that guy isn't going to pick up that Kenmore washer and hit someone over the head with it? We have no idea. There'd be no way of knowing. Did you call the cops when you were punched in the face, when you were assaulted?
No, they weren't even responding. The cops weren't responding to any of the crimes. I mean, right outside, right to my right over here, they shot a 15-year-old girl. I mean, and then there was another instance. I was talking to a reporter last night on the scene from Epic Times, and he was telling me, this is ultimate karma. I don't even believe in karma, but maybe I do now. Maybe I'm an Eastern traditionalist after hearing this. A looter brought his car, and he was filling it with all the goods. So he's going, getting everything. He
I know where this is going, and I like it.
A looter came and hijacked his car and stole his car, so that he was actually a very efficient man, if you think about it.
Right, yeah.
He didn't actually have to loot. He just had to steal a car, which is easier than carrying items. So he like UPS drove that car out and just left. And
all he needed was to know how to drive stick.
Yeah.
That happened. That was when I laughed so hard in the Montreal riots after I don't know if they won or they lost the Stanley Cup because they rioted no matter what. And I've told the story. There was a guy out in front of a Levi's store, and he's on top of a car. He breaks it with, I think, a golf club, pulls out a stack of jeans and goes, woo! And then a guy bigger than him steps up on the car, grabs the entire stack, and walks off. And as a kid, I might have been 7, I remember just laughing my off because the guy went and complained to the cops. I'm like, Dad, how can he complain to the cops when he just stole something? And my dad said, well, he's an idiot, son.
Life lessons.
So let me ask you this, though, 2 more questions. How was the city last night? Does it seem like has it been dying down at all? Because there's no coverage. We've been watching CNN day and night, little to no coverage, none at all this morning of Philly.
Well, because why would you want to show America the truth? I mean, Marianne Williams, right, was saying, it's not, the Bible says do not kill, but the Bible doesn't say do not loot. And then she corrected herself, said, oh, I forgot, there actually is a commandment that says do not steal. But
right.
Yeah.
But there's a quick justification for these people. Even a reporter asked Biden, what's your response in Philadelphia and with black men unarmed being killed? I mean, here's the situation, and I'll break it down like this. This was a man who was shot and killed because he charged police with a knife. You can debate if they shot him too many times. That's a different debate. However, I will say this. Nobody here is contesting that he was armed. Now they've switched their narrative. Black Lives Matter has said that this is about mentally ill people not being able to be shot by police. I don't know about you, but I've seen mentally ill people in Los Angeles commit a lot of crimes. I lived there for 27 years.
Isn't it funny that we're supposed to believe that because someone maybe has anxiety or depression, if they take a Xanax, that they lose their right to own a firearm, right? We need to keep them out of the hands of the mentally ill. And if you look at their description there, it's a very broad description of mentally ill. But now all of a sudden, when charging a cop with a sharpened blade, it's, you know what? Mentally ill people never hurt anybody.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that if we're talking about mentally ill people, like we can't shoot mentally ill people, that would be like half the country voting for Biden right now. I swear. It's like we can't just dismiss mentally ill people, but that's how this movement's not about helping black people or fighting for justice. Basically, this is just looking for any excuse we can for social and civil unrest, because the narrative keeps changing to the point where you have a case if you say it's unarmed black people. That's a case. You can make the case. But once you talk about a mentally ill person, like his mental conscious state with a knife, I don't know about you, but this was a justified.
No, it is of course.
This wasn't justified.
Yeah, of course, agreed on both counts. At a certain point, you forfeit your right to live. When people say, "Oh, mentally ill," my mom had a distant relative who believed he was Jesus and wanted to marry my mom and was going to try and steal her away. And my mom said, "Oh, he's mentally ill. I feel pretty good about it." I feel pretty
let
safe.
it happen.
Yeah, it's real to me. Every scenario I've had where I've been attacked or violently has been someone who's mental, which is, of course, you want to get them help. But at the time of me being picked up and thrown into a locker in the 5th grade by Wei Lung, at that point, my primary concern is not where his caretaker is. It's I'm airborne.
Well, that's what I was going to say is that, I don't know, I don't want to get you demonetized, but the leader of the Third Reich was mentally ill. Like, do you not remember World War II? It's like, that was a mentally ill person. So should we have not taken out the Germans in World War II because their leader was mentally ill? Should we have sent social workers over instead of, our infantrymen into Normandy because, the leaders were mentally ill and doing genociding people? I mean, it's like mental illness, is a problem. We got to address it. But it's like what we're seeing here is a clear demarcation of people who are against law and order. They feel like they have the right to people's stuff. And I want to make this point.
Yes.
This is what the black community mostly does is loot. And nobody in the media talks about what the black community is doing because it's politically incorrect to put blame on the black community for any bad behavior.
And when you say the black community, you mean the black community who are involved in this current activism. Not everyone, because they're looting black businesses too.
No. That's what I'm trying to say. In the black community, like this is a predominantly black. Like this was like mostly black people. So like Antifa, which seem to be mostly white, are the insane white people. And if you take a store and you put Antifa in front of the store and Black Lives Matter in front of the store, Antifa will destroy the outside of the store and try to burn it to the ground. If you put Black Lives Matter or radical looters or people in poverty in the black community in front of the store, they'll crowbar the door open and empty out the contents of the inside. My point being is that it's not a racial issue. It's not like black people are just committing crimes or it's just white people. We need to look at the whole issue and say the ideologies that are pushing these people to feel like victims, to think that they have the right to destroy other people's property, that they can tear down colonialism, imperialism, this nation, whatever they think they're fighting. No matter what your race is, no matter what your socioeconomic class is, if you're a poor black kid out of West Philly or you're a rich white college-educated kid from Portland, these ideologies lead people to destructive life paths.
But I do think it's interesting, like you said, Antifa, they seem to break the front of the stores and then move on, whereas it doesn't seem like Black Lives Matter. They do want to actually go in and take some things from these stores. That's what we're seeing with Walmart and Five Below, whereas Antifa, they throw in a cocktail, laugh it up. Some of it just seems like it's a little bit of anarchist destruction, whereas I think that you see with a lot of Black Lives Matter, certainly in Philly, they're like, well, I'm going to get my discount.
I'm going to get mine.
Can you show us a little bit the front of that Walmart at all? And I wanted to ask you, that we've been told that the National Guard was deployed on Tuesday. Did you see any of them?
They were here. A politician lied to the public? I'd be damned. I never thought that would happen. Let's look at this. So check this out. So unfortunately for us, they even went after the water machine here. Let me just grab. Let's look at it. So they left some trash here. We do have the barriers that are going on. Check this out, Sav. This is the front of the store, and if we kind of walk a little bit, I mean, they've had to completely take barriers. If you come look right around, turn around here, these are private security even having to guard this because the police seem to be incapable. Now, what's really not funny, but I'm laughing because it's crazy.
I'll say it for you. It's not. Hey, not funny.
Yes, it's not funny. But let's talk about the stores that they looted around here. Okay, not only did they go after Walmart, I gotta say as a looter, that's an okay spot. I gotta say if I'm doing the looter awards, boom, you're the supporting
If
actor.
Apple stores were still around, that'd be top draft pick. But Walmart is up there.
But look at this. Oh man, it's like you're looting. You're gonna get something good. Where do we go? Do we get TVs? Do we go out of here? We hit the dollars of the $1 zone. So this isn't even the Five Below. This isn't even Five Below. Look, we got the pallets here. like Antifa would have like just used these pallets to set up a barrier and like create a fake encampment. But I'll tell you this. This is a home to Antifa. This is a future lifestyle.
Some guy's gonna crawl out of it right now. Hey, keep it down out there.
But the dollar zone, I mean, it wrecks my world. This is not the only place around here. If we walk over here, wow, the rain's coming down really hard. Sorry, is the camera wet, by the way, or can you see
good.
still?
It looks fine
Okay.
for us. You can brave it. You've already been punched in the face. By the way, when you get back to Texas, I'm going to teach you how to bob and weave. But yes, continue.
Well, I'll tell you this. When there's angry looters, bobbing and weaving is probably on the back of my mind. But
Right.
but look, so they didn't go for the furniture store, which is really interesting. They chose not to take the couches, and that makes me think, who's in charge of inventory at this place? That the items they've picked, that even people don't want them when they're free. That's really really unfortunate. Yeah, it's
Like, man, what the hell am I going to do with a water bed? I got shit to steal.
It says open. At least we know. It doesn't look like anyone's here, unfortunately. That brings up the real life.
Wait, hold on a second. What does that mean? Is that like open? Like, did the shopkeeper put that in there, or did the vandals ironically put like open for stealing?
No, you can buy the couches right now.
Oh, okay.
Or steal them later.
Not everything's so lucky.
I'm gonna put it on layaway, and I'm gonna come back later
When the sun goes down.
with my HK VP9, and you best not be here.
So check this out. So right here, sorry guys, I'm just doing filming something. This is a beauty shop that was hit pretty hard. I'm not coming in. I'm just doing a hit for the news right now. I'm not causing problems. I'm just all right. Cool. So I called to the news, but
Someone called that store and say that he's causing problems.
Yes,
we're
please
here.
do it.
Yeah, but if you see in here, this place was catastrophically looted last night. If you want to kind of show a little bit, we can't go in, but if you can kind of show a little bit of what it looks like in there.
Is that the store of the lady who's a black lady who owns it, who said she cleared out her bank accounts and sold her house to run a beauty store?
I'm sorry, what?
What's your Instagram?
Oh, Elijah Schaffer. Or Slightly Offensive is the show, but this is called Steven Crowder.
Oh, okay.
You should check it out. Yeah, do you mind can we just show this for the viewers? There's a lot of people watching this right now. We're trying to, can we just put the camera right here? Okay, never mind. No worries. All right, we can't go in this store.
Well, it's a single party
I wonder
consent state, but I don't want you to get your ass kicked by a bunch of angry beauty shop owners.
You get beat up by women.
Some people today still respect when store owners don't want you to break into their shops. I happen to be one of the few in the area that still cares about that. But look at this. I mean, look, when you talk about this, I want to bring this up. New York Times today said that they believe that the increase in homicides, specifically they were talking about in black communities, is linked to coronavirus. Now, I got the coronavirus myself. It didn't make me shoot anyone. I do know this, is that this is true. The shutdowns, I think, are actually leading people to be like chaotically suppressed in their energy, right? Because if you think about this, like young men, there's one way young men like to release themselves, which I won't mention on air for the families, but there's another way young men like to release themselves. Yeah, we can't show that though, but I will say this, like
we can if we get a hold of Hunter's laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go search Hunter's laptop if you want to see one-way men release themselves.
Yeah.
But you can look at this way and say, in our culture, young men, they kickbox, they go to the gym, they get in hype, they hype up at concerts, right? They punch each other in mosh pits. Yeah, sports. And men have aggression, and I agree with that. I think it's healthy. A level of aggression is healthy. I think it's cool that men are warriors and fighters. But when you lock men up, when you take people also to in communities that are poor and you make them stay in their homes, you don't allow them to go out, you don't give them opportunities. They're right. COVID didn't affect black communities worse. The government shutdowns affected black communities worse because a lot of these entry-level jobs that some of these lower income black neighborhoods held are no longer available. So people are pissed and they're tired. And so you know what? It's like someone's looting down the street. We're all going to go there. And what makes me the most mad is that they hit Sonic. It's like,
oh, travesty.
That should be illegal.
But that honestly though, if you're a lazy looter, you just pull up in the drive-thru like,
you can go in there.
Surprise, bitch!
So
I'm gonna take a limeade and a chili dog, and I ain't gonna pay for shit.
No, so you have to drive up. and
Hold
press
on a
the
second,
button.
Elijah. My half-Asian lawyer, Bill Richmond, has a question.
So
for you.
Elijah, just from an economic standpoint, you're there on the ground. You're in this black community that's been hit, where this strip center with stores and other businesses. Do you think that all of the rioting that was supported by BLM is increasing the number of jobs in this black community or decreasing the number of jobs? I just want your objective answer. I don't want to just call it like I see it, since you're there.
The job increase are off the books.
Answer. Let me use this. Let me call the server inside of this Sonic and see how.
Not gonna quite work there.
Somewhere it's in a bachelor pad next to a St. Pauli's girl sign.
Why? What is that?
I want that
See that
menu,
shit?
man.
That's authentic. You cannot buy that shit.
I would grab a Reese's and go check out, but I think that it looks like we're out of Reese's. So
There's no wrong
Several
way.
hundred yards away from the
There's
store.
no wrong way to steal a Reese's.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Though, is like, think about this. Like, this is what the real problem of these riots are. Is that, like, right? We're at this Sonic, and this is not a comment like on The View, you know, where that one girl said, famously, that was an Osborne chick, where she was like, "Oh yeah, who's gonna clean your toilets if you ban the Mexicans, Mr. Trump?"
Yeah.
I'm not saying that black people only work low-income jobs. What I'm saying is that a lot of these areas are black neighborhoods. They look like predominantly black neighborhoods, which is
Right.
number one means that black people live here, probably work here, local around the community. Now, the people that probably are going to suffer the most from anything are people that make the least amount of money. When you're attacking a Sonic, a Five Below, I mean, these are not hedge fund owners.
Yeah.
Kids
No, and very
working,
often, not just. I want to be
dollar
clear
jobs.
about something too, Elijah. Not to fact check you or anything, but a lot of people don't know this. Not just black employees, but franchise opportunities.
Yep.
That's a big step up for black people, and that's a big part of opportunity zones. You know, a lot of people want to start a business, but sometimes they don't have the ability to sort of create something that is proprietary, that's new. But the opportunity to franchise a Sonic or a Dollar Tree or a Dollar. What was that? Someone.
This just
Reese's attack.
was hitting my producer.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna just
For some reason,
release the Reese's.
I thought someone was hitting his shins with a hammer
That's littering.
that he had stolen from Five
this is
Below.
blowing at us.
But that's the thing people don't understand is being able to open these franchise. These are opportunities for black people, and a lot of those businesses are black owned, not only black employees. And No.
You're 100% right, and I know they're franchises because like he'll say, oh, it's Walmart, it's not a franchise, but no, they hit up like a few T-Mobile stores. Now, if this was a corporate, why would you have two T-Mobile stores by each other like a block away? That's not really usually how business works.
Right.
But if franchises, people want to open one in their community, and I will say that I'm just kind of working up the ladder, but I'm saying, when you think about the mass amount of employees that are out of work because of this, right?
Yeah.
Boom, that hits the black community. Then your point, that's right. The managers, the owners, the people who are feeding their families, etc., they might even move out of the area because who knows how long these are shut down. They're just like, well, we're going to move our business. We're going to leave this place. We can't handle this. This place, one of the stores right here got completely looted in May.
Well, do you know what you
during
just
the George
described,
Floyd.
Elijah? What you just described?
What?
You just described what people describe as white flight in Detroit. My father was there for the Detroit riots, and Detroit was very mixed, but you had a lot of Polish people. You had a lot of old German people. You had a lot of Native Americans. I think, well, maybe not. There was a place called Indian Village. It could have just been a gay area of town, so I might have misspoken there. But then after the Detroit riots, they left. They said, okay, it's not worth the insurance. It's not worth the risk, and they left. And now what was termed white flight could be the very same thing. It'll be black flight. Black people will be leaving these neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I have two questions for you. Did they loot the Sprint? I know you mentioned T-Mobile. Is Sprint still there?
I'll tell. I don't know if Sprint's still in America because I haven't seen one of those stores. They did hit the Boost Mobile, because God knows, I'm telling you this,
It's still a thing? Boost? I remember
Boost
Travis
Mobile.
Barker used to be doing commercials. He's like, I get to watch shows on my Boost.
No, but I thought what I was going to say is what's crazy though is that when you look at this, by the way, this is kind of, I know we probably don't have a moment to walk over there, but
focus, Elijah.
just as we walk to this TD Bank, this kind of shows you the struggle of really what public education in America and where America has headed. They basically broke into the ATM. It's not baseball. How you basically break it? They totally broke into the ATM here at this bank.
They broke into the ATM, right?
Busted them right off like they did to these drive-through dine-in signs. And now what's important is that the next day I was here with my producer Savannah, who's currently filming. She's a wonderful person. And great reporter helping me too. You can check out her Twitter. Sav says she was doing a lot of the work with me.
I care about her reporting. I don't care about her childhood.
Yeah, you want to say hi to Steve? What's up, Steve?
Hey, man. How are you?
You're the man. What's up, man?
Thank you.
Steve loves you. We love you.
Is that your producer? Was that your producer? Who is
no,
that?
that was a random person.
Oh, okay. How does he know you're doing a show for me right now? Okay.
Probably watching.
So yeah, check this out. Just go and film close up to this without me in it. So see this busted machine here?
Yeah.
That they busted open. Now, they were fixing the bank, right? So behind me, if you check this out, they're like, putting, wood over windows, because what's stronger than bulletproof glass? Apparently wood.
Yeah.
They're putting this up, and the guy goes, "Hey, we were filming the ATM." He goes, "Hey, you can't put your card in there." And I go, "Yeah, what do you mean put my card in there? We're just filming." And he's like, "Yeah, I know a lot of people have been losing their cards today trying to pull cash out of an ATM, and we're just letting people know it doesn't work." Wow. And I come back over after I said that, I go, "Yeah, I mean,
this machine."
People are putting cards into this.
What I find funny is there's a man who lost his card and had to go back to his wife and tell the story. Like, I just lost. Like, she's like, "Well, what happened?" He'd be like, "I don't know. I don't know what happened. Your guess is as good as mine. I just put the card in there and it's gone." Was there something off with the machine? It's a money machine. It looks like a money machine. What do you want me to say?
We could try it, and that's why I was laughing. I'm going, this is where you go, how do riots like this happen? This is not a racial issue. This is a problem in America, where somebody who is sober-minded, regardless of their race, ethnicity, or gender, I'm sure it was a man, though. I am sure it was a man. He was probably a hard worker and very busy. He was just like, yeah, I got to get this.
I got to get my money
out.
Yeah.
And so he puts it in. But this is the worst part, is one fool, I get it. But the man said, people are losing their cards today by putting them in there. So there is not just one busy man, there is multiple, and maybe
How hilarious would it be if it was the same man who broke it and then the cash didn't just come out like it was a movie? He's like, it's not working. Well, I guess I got to make a withdrawal. There ain't going to be nothing left at Five Below after this. And then he was like honking his horn because he wants to make a deposit in the tube. Like, bitch, I want to do put it in the tube. We're going, okay, I got to deposit some cash. I'm busy. I got shit to do. It ate my card.
The way that you take out cash here now is by directly going down to the safe. So this is actually this is the fastest ATM in history. You just open the safe. And honestly, though, I'm really happy with the looters. I don't want to touch that, but we do have an elf hat here. Santa came early. The elves were maybe smoking crack or something, because they were supposed to make toys, not break toys. And they just looted this whole place. And you know what's crazy? The only store around here that really didn't get hit hard was Lowe's. And I'm thinking, has no one ever seen a power tool at a pawn shop? That's what I would hit that place first.
But not only that, they could have gotten a weed whacker and like gone in and be like, "All right, Five Below bitches, I'm taking it all."
Right. And they just stole all the plywood and extorted all the businesses and sold them at 10 times higher price the next day.
I'm get in the plywood business.
That's a real smart move.
Yeah, you know what? If I were them, I would have gone to Lowe's. I would have gotten the power tools. Then I would have gone to the store that I really want, probably Five Below. I would have gone in there. I would have, to save my time to loot everything, I would have stolen a FedEx truck or a UPS truck, and then I would have taken light bulbs from Lowe's and broken them all along the doorway so that people could not get in, and I could take everything. See, I'd be a fantastic looter if I had no moral compass. Finally, one final question for you. You've been on the ground with a lot, been on the ground a lot of these protests. We've talked about Chaz, Kenosha. How would you say Philly compares? Because it's not getting any coverage, but relatively speaking, how would you say it compares as far as the violence and riots to these other cities?
I would say this. This was the largest scale riot I've seen, meaning I've never seen something that stretches like in square miles. Like, this is something where I couldn't figure out where to go to get out, right? And everywhere I went, there was people and mobs and hordes of people. This was the third time in the history. This is so sad that there's been 3 times before I say this. This is the third time since the George Floyd riots where I've seen police fail and miserably look around and just go, "Oh crap, we lost our city," and just kind of like leave, to where you're standing there and you go, the Constitution doesn't exist in this area. I've only seen that happen in Dallas and Kenosha, and I've been to close to 30 riots in the last 6 months. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Dude, like, we've had like 30 riots, and then they say these are peaceful. It's like, I make a full-time living. My producer, we have a crew of people. There's like dozens of people that make a full-time living covering these riots. And it's like they're so fake and so not happening that people make a good living off of covering them.
Right.
I mean, I'm not the only one. I mean, the writers are making a good living too. I mean, that's, what's better than free, right? That's the cheapest thing possible.
That is about the cheapest thing possible. And listen, I appreciate it. I want you to stay safe. And you know what? After this, maybe take a bit of a breather. Maybe make your next on location package like the lighting of the world's biggest Christmas tree. Have some nog. But for right now, that is Elijah Schaffer on Twitter. Do keep us updated, brother. We appreciate it. Stay safe, man.
Real fast, I'll tell you this, though. Just to remind your viewers, go to youtube.com/slightly-offensive. We got a full show coming out tomorrow to covering all this. And also, I wish we could go to a Christmas tree lighting, but D.C. police just bought $100,000 worth of tear gas for election night. So I'm thinking that's going to be a little bit more festive.
Well, you know what? Maybe they're just going to hang the canisters like a little angel. Every time tear gas gets released, an angel gets its wings. Thank you so much, Elijah Schaffer. We will see you later. You must go. We are going to wrap this show up.